Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore Podcast, the podcast that reviews the movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 753, and it is your review of Akira Kurosawa's No Regrets for Our Youth. As always, this is Nerd Chicana here to host the show. Lots of my wonderful co-host, Brian Yoda.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday afternoon. No regrets.
Recording live early and ad-free over on patreon.com/thenerdcore because tomorrow I will be staying at my grandma's house so I can fly out on Friday, and Brad's going to be 6 hours away from his home. So, yeah. So, it kind of worked out for us. So, but, you know, you can get this episode live early and ad-free before anybody else gets to watch it on patreon.com/nerdcore at the $1 tier and above. But before we can go, we can get into the review. Bradley, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. Worked all day.
Yeah?
Yep. Then tomorrow I gotta go work some more. So.
Yeah.
Yep. Gotta schmooze.
Sucks for you, man.
Yeah, I know.
I have to work too.
I don't particularly want to drive 6 hours.
Yeah.
It just. I don't know.
Yeah. Brad's like,
I'm trying to clean my house, and I don't know. So we'll see.
Like, fuck all this shit. Brad's just like, bro, why can't we just do this? Brad's like, why can't we just do this for forever and get money out of it?
I mean, I would literally do this all day if you wanted me to. If it paid, like.
You know, Brad, if I could pay you, I would.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
But we do it for free for now because we love it.
Yeah, we sure as hell do. And as long as there's movies to watch, seems like we're gonna still have stuff to watch. So
movies and TV until that day ends.
Yep. But other than that, Brad, everything good, man. Catch up with anything or?
Nope. I watched half of this yesterday, and then I got home today and watched half of it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured that what's it called? You were gonna get. I thought you were gonna get to this before, actually, but no. Looks like you got to it. What's it called? Half and half.
Yeah, I was trying to watch it all yesterday, but I was just too freaking tired. So
you were falling asleep, huh?
Yeah, I got to about I think 57 minutes, and then I called it.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, I actually fell asleep at the end. Like when she's like literally looking at, she's smiling. I was like.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
and I was like, boom. Yeah, so I was like, okay, well, I finished the movie. It was like,
yeah.
I got to the ending, so yeah. But with that said, yeah, man, I went to work today and made my fish. It's a fish. I just had dinner right now. I'm gonna go ahead and gonna go ahead and do this podcast, and then I'm gonna go work out after this, cause yeah, I gotta go and do that. But other than that, man, not much going around here, man. No. I'm getting ready. I need to start packing. I'm probably gonna start packing tonight so that way I can have it ready for tomorrow.
I got to pack right after this. So
yeah.
It's not much though. It's a backpack.
Yeah, you're only going for a day, right?
Yeah, I'm only going for a day. So.
Yeah, but it's still 6 fucking hours.
Yeah, I know, man.
Yeah, why did they do that to my boy, man? Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, sorry about that, Brad. Sucks for you, man.
Do you remember the COVID days when we couldn't leave anywhere and everything was a teleconference?
Yeah, Brad. Yeah. Yeah, Brad, sucks for you, but Brad, we're continuing on with our Akira Kurosawa month today. Last review was, The Most Beautiful. And today we get to watch this. We get to discuss this one. Is what's called one of it. This is actually the first movie he made after World War II ended.
Wow.
Yeah. So you would say this is probably, you know.
I can actually see that though. I can.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that are being discussed in here that now it's like.
Yeah.
Hey.
There's a lot of stuff that I don't think he could have spoke about in this that he did.
Yeah. Of course, it's still under like U.S. occupation of Japan, right? So like.
Yeah, but it's definitely, I mean, it's talking about the 30s government.
Yeah. Yeah. But other than that, Brad, I mean, yeah, let's go ahead and get into this, right?
Yep.
All right, so we'll be back with our review after these words from our sponsors. Today's episode of the Nerd Court is brought to you by SeatGeek. Whether you want to see your favorite band, sports team, or comedian, SeatGeek has you covered. We're proud to be partnering with SeatGeek to offer you $10 off your first order with code TheNerdCourt. That's $10 off your first order at SeatGeek.com with code THENERDCORPS. So take a seat at your next live event with SeatGeek. Thank you. Now let's get back to today's video. No regrets for our youth. I do not know how to read that. Is a 1946 Japanese film written and directed by Akira Kurosawa. It is based on a 1933 Takegawa incident. Which, if you want to know what the Takegawa incident is, it was in October 1932, when Kyoto Imperial University Faculty of Law professor Takegawa Yukitoki lectured on the need for the judiciary to understand the social roots of deviance when considering individuals who are before them. So if you don't know what deviance is, it's like
Sin.
Actions that like go against the norm, right? Yeah. The climactic moment occurred in May 1933 when Education Minister Hatoyama Ichiro announced that Dr. Takegawa's theory of criminal law advocated Marxist philosophies and suspended him from teaching. Though in a way they do suspend him from learning as well, right? The remaining members of the Faculty of Law resigned from their positions in protest. Students boycotted classes, and communist sympathizers organized a protest movement. The Ministry of Education suppressed the movement by firing Takegawa. And it's considered a quintessential democratization film. Which is structural government transition from an authoritarian government to a more democratic political regime. Taking up many themes associated with social policy under the early occupation of Japan. The film stars Setsuko Hara, Susumu Fujita, Takashi Shimura, and Nenjiro Kochi. Fujita's character was inspired by the real-life Hotsumi Ozaki, who assisted the famous Soviet spy Richard Sorge, and became the only Japanese citizen to suffer the death penalty for treason during World War II. The film is in black and white and runs 110 minutes. Cinematography by Sakazu Nakai, edited by Akira Kurosawa, music by Tadashi Hattori, and yeah, it sits at about an hour and 50 minutes. And Criterion just pretty much says the same shit, man. First film after the end of World War II, future beloved Ozu regular Setsuko Hara gives an astonishing performance as Yuki, the only female protagonist in Kurosawa's body of work and one of his strongest heroes. Transforming herself from genteel bourgeois daughter to independent social activist, Yuki traverses a tumultuous decade in Japanese history. Wish these movies weren't locked behind these damn DVD releases, but I think at this point, I really do feel like some of these movies are just never going to come out. So it's not. Like, no, they're probably never going to be released on Blu-ray. So it's like,
Probably not.
If they have them available in that DVD set, it's like, might as well just have them.
Because what they released on 4K just recently? Seven Samurai?
Actually, I think Yojimbo and Sanjuro are already out.
Awesome.
So we have, from what we have from them, we have, Seven Samurai, Dreams, Yojimbo, and Sanjuro.
Yeah, so it took that long to release that on 4K.
And there's still a good amount more that still need to be brought over.
Yeah.
They're still missing Kagemusha, High and Low, which I have a feeling that High and Low might be coming, before the release of the remake from Spike Lee.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah. But yeah. Brad, I agree with you what we were saying. Is like you can very much tell that like there is a side of Kurosawa that he's kind of been hiding behind his films before this that he's really wanted to show. And in this one, it's kind of the most overtly, what's it called? I don't want to say political, but like
he is definitely critiquing.
Yeah,
Japanese
like he's being as overtly critical of the empire.
Yeah.
as much as he can be. I feel like this
He-
was Kurosawa saying like, "Oh wow, okay, my restrictions are off. I don't have to make these stupid fucking propaganda films anymore.
yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and finally let it rip in this."
I mean, and I think this is the closest he gets to basically calling them fascists.
Yeah,
He's basically calling them fascists.
yeah. Yeah, which is like, in a way, I don't want to say it's an inherently Western way of filmmaking because, of course, that's the thing that Kurosawa's always been criticized for. The Japanese filmmakers have always criticized him because he was always more Western. But like the way that these nuances are nowhere near as subtle as they are, to me, really feels like a Western way of creating a film in here.
Yeah.
But I think that to me that was Kurosawa finally feeling like I feel this massive burden off my chest, and I'm glad that I can finally talk about these things because before this they had me working on these fucking propaganda movies.
Yeah. I mean, even though he said he found them dear to his heart, but at the same time, you got to be a little, a little mad and hurt that they kept you such restrictions.
Yeah. But Brad, I really like this movie. Which, by the way, once again, incredible job from Setsuko Hara, who we know from Tokyo Story and all these films that we watch from Ozu. But of course, she is also the main protagonist. Well, not the main protagonist, like the main inspiration behind the protagonist of Millennium Actress from Satoshi Kon.
You know what I was thinking because you brought that up. I was thinking this movie would actually make a very good anime film.
Yeah. But she is 100% the star of this movie, man. She is in it's to me like the whole that whole sentence about like, oh, she's the only like leading protagonist, in the Kurosawa movie where the women, but like, yeah, where she's like front and screen, like the main character, but this sets a tone for all the other Kurosawa movies that are coming after, where it's like the women have a massive importance in their film, in his films.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen it through basically everything. Ikiru, you had a female in there that basically changed that man's whole outlook.
Not the Hidden Fortress. Well, yeah, the Hidden Fortress. If it wasn't for the princess,
very strong princess.
Ran. Throne of if it isn't for Lady what's it called? Lady Hamlet, right? Or no.
Not Hamlet, but I mean.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, if it wasn't for her, that whole movie does not happen.
There's a lot of important female characters in Kurosawa films that probably get.
This kind of sets like a tone for the rest of the movies that come after this. Brad, what are your thoughts on this movie?
I will say I thought. So I was wondering where Kurosawa was going with this for the first half of the movie, because at first it seems like, oh, this is a very weak female lead character in the first half of the movie. And I'm going, okay, like, where are we going with this? And then, her husband gets sent to jail.
Yep.
And she has a transformation. She stays stoic, quiet, and then I'm like, oh, this was where it was going. And basically from there on, and like they were saying, she was very, bourgeois. She played piano. She had a father, who was a wealthy professor at the school. And I for first to have this, I wasn't particularly keen on it. I was wondering what Kurosawa was going through with this. But when you get to the second half of this movie, this woman takes up, basically her dead husband's efforts, and she goes out in the fields and she plants rice with her in-laws, and she learns that, and then she actually becomes an overtly strong character.
Yeah.
So with that turn, this actually, was made a pretty good movie. I don't think it's my favorite, but I think it's overall a good movie just because this does end up being a strong female character.
Yeah.
And also the political spotlight that Kurosawa puts on, the government of the empire at the time and what they did. That's really coming after, like, we just watched his most overt propaganda film. And it's very different.
Yeah.
And then I think we get to see, more of what Kurosawa wants to make after, after the United States is there. Um, but I think with this, it's basically an overtly fuck you to the old government that made him or kept him from making the films he wanted to make.
Yeah. And I agree with you, Brad. I feel like that first half, I'm like, oh, like okay, what
Like,
is this all about? Like
yeah.
this, I'm like this feels like a very like like oh like very by the numbers
Yeah,
book
I
here.
thought we were going like it was. I thought we were doing like another propaganda thing. Like, okay,
Yeah, I'm like, come on, man. And then no, the husband goes to jail, and you see this massive transformation of her, and she becomes like this leader, and and just her like her transformation also to finally like accepting, the social life.
yeah,
And I was just like, okay, I was like, wow, like I really enjoyed that. I was like, wow, I really liked seeing how much she changes and how she embraces, her social life and, and her in the ending where she's, where she embraces the parents and then she, what's it called? She's in the rice fields and stuff and she no longer wants to like play piano. She wants to, actually take care of the home now. It's like,
and not only that, then she wants to. She sees how the females are treated in the rural countryside, and they're not getting education, and they're not being treated well, and so she wants to do something about that instead of returning to like her cushy before lifestyle.
yeah, I'd say that this one, what's it called? This one is definitely one of the better early Kurosawa films. Um, because what's it called? Like before this, you have Men Who Tread on Tiger's Tail, which to me, the Men Who Tread on Tiger's Tail is a really interesting one, but it just feels a little like unbalanced.
Yeah.
Where I was like, okay, a lot of that movie feel like it moves really fast, and I feel like there's a lot that's missing from this movie, which we found out that there kind of is a bit missing from that movie. But I didn't think it was terrible.
No, I don't think I've overly thought any Kurosawa movie is terrible. I think One Wonderful Sunday was before this. If I
After this,
remember.
actually.
Is it after this? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well,
Yeah, which to me is one of the best Kurosawas of all time.
That is one of the best. And strangely enough, it's not one of the most complicated.
No,
Not
it's not. But
complicated at all.
top five Kurosawa to me.
Yeah.
100%. And after this, of course, he starts doing Drunken Angel, Quiet Duel, Stray Dog.
Different genres.
Yeah. But like this is really the last of that like, really like, not day in the life, but like slice of life Kurosawa here.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he really does concentrate on what's it called on this massive incident where it was like talking about education and like our right to learn, even though they're like even though governments don't want to have us learn, and they would rather see us willfully be stupid, ignorant people instead of learn. And that's they lock people away who dare challenge the status quo and teach things that that the government may disagree with, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what's it called? It's still our right to learn about these things and make up for ourselves whether we want to follow these things or not believe these things. But to be stripped of that idea of learning and being able to be taught about these things, what's it called, is what Kurosawa is kind of advocating against and being like, this is literally what my past government was not allowing me to do. And it's like it's like him kind of saying like, I have all these things in these past films that I want to discuss, and you see sprinkles of it, but I can't tell you them overtly like the way I'm telling you here because I would be locked up. Like they did it to Mr. Takagawa. Yeah. But I thought it was really good, man. I really think it was really good. I wanted to see more of what's it called, more collaborations between her and Kurosawa, but I think this is like one of two that he did with her. I think because I don't think they ever worked again after this, or was she? She wasn't in One Wonderful Sunday, was she, Brad?
So she was No Regrets for Their Youth.
Because she's in a bunch of Ozu.
I'm trying to see. Oh my God, she was in a lot of films.
She worked her fucking ass off.
There's the idiot here.
Oh, the idiot. Okay, so she was in the idiot, and after that, that was it. They never worked together after that, right?
I'm looking. I'm not seeing anything that's popping out.
She pretty much just ends up working with Ozu. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So I watching this one, I remember her in the idiot as well. I was like, oh man, like I really wish I would have had more of her and Kurosawa, working together because she is so good in this movie, man.
Well, as you know, there wasn't enough room with Mifune.
Yeah, and also when Ozu keeps calling,
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. We gotta do another Ozu month, Brad.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah. Or we also gotta do an Inamura month. Let's go finally discuss that one because I believe Inamura was one of the ones that kind of influenced Kurosawa. But Brad, any other thoughts on this one?
I thought it was again, it's not my favorite Kurosawa.
No,
but,
no.
I do like the direction it goes. I do like how it is one of the only few that is an overt, just kind of political message coming from here because it's out there in front. I mean, you could call it a kind of like a Tarkovsky. It's kind of just like in your face of what he's telling his past government of being like, well, now I can make what I want.
Yeah. Because fuck you. You guys are gone.
Yeah.
Now I get to make what the fuck I want.
Yeah. So for that, I appreciate it. I think, and I do think at the second half is when this movie picks up. Unfortunately for that first half, it's kind of, if you're watching it for the first time, you're left wondering like, okay, where's this going? Like, I mean, I'm this because I'm used to. We've watched almost all of Kurosawa's films, so I'm used to these strong female characters coming up at some point. I'm going, this is in the first half of this film. This has to be one of the weakest female characters. I mean, that's been put on the screen by him, and then right at the midpoint, it just turns, and I'm like, okay, I see what you were doing now. You were doing the alley oop.
Yeah, and then boy, are you prove wrong.
Yeah. Then she becomes like uber. One of the strongest female characters probably put on the screen by Kurosawa.
Yeah. But Brad, what are you gonna score this one?
I think I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's way above to me. The most beautiful.
The most beautiful.
Is that what?
That was the most beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's way above that one for me.
This is not propaganda.
Yeah, it's not propaganda. So I mean, I gotta appreciate that.
I what's it called? I put this at around maybe a 7. Yeah, like a 7.5. I can't put this, below. I'd say I think I'd put this below the lower depths because I really like the acting in the lower depths.
Yeah.
But it's still what's it called? Not like The Quiet Duel because I really like The Quiet Duel. I know The Quiet Duel was pretty damn good. But just not on the level of stuff like The Idiots and Euro and all that stuff. Hell, or Doris Kaden, But a 7.5. 7.5. I really like this movie. I think it's a pretty good Kurosawa and probably one of his best early films. Honestly.
Yeah.
And we still haven't watched Shiro Sagata Part 1 or Part 2. So
I mean, it's well shot and well acted. So.
Yeah. And not Inamura. I'm so sorry. Yamamoto. We gotta fucking find some Yamamoto because that was the one that he ended up working with, and he's the one who was a director in training under Yamamoto.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to see some films from Yamamoto. Even though it's an Inamura wouldn't be terrible. Would be interesting to finally watch some of his stuff. But with that said, yeah, man, 7.5 across here from both of us. That's going to be it for our review of No Regrets for Our Youth. Next week, we're looking, I believe, at Dreams and Rhapsody in August.
Dreams.
I think so. Or Rhapsody in August and then Dreams. Because, oh, no. It's Dreams and then Rhapsody in August. Yeah. Which I've seen Dreams. I can't wait to rewatch that because fuck, do I love that movie. And a little selfish plug here. I do have a I have a review of that 4K disc from the Criterion Collection up on my YouTube channel. So you guys should go check that out because it's a glorious disc.
Glorious.
Yeah. And this is one of those late Kurosawas that Brad has never watched. You've watched Madadayo, right, Brad? You told me that you've seen Madadayo.
I've watched the Madadayo. And
So
I quite liked Madadayo from what I remember.
yeah. So these next 4 are going to be ones that you've never seen before, right? Because you've never seen Sashiro's Sagata Part 1 or Part 2, right?
Nope.
Yeah. God damn it. I cannot believe it, Brad. We are about to finish this shit. Like, we're really going to finish this shit. Wow. So yeah, next week we have Dreams and Rhapsody in August. I've never seen Rhapsody in August, but I have seen Dreams. But as always, keep up to date with us on nerdcore.com, Twitter at the Nerdcore, Instagram at the Nerdcore, Letterboxd at the Nerdcore, TikTok at the Nerdcore, Patreon.com/Nerdcore. Discord link is in the description below where you can talk to us about anything Kurosawa. And yeah, tell us what you think about this one. And please, if you can find Those Who Make Tomorrow, please. It's killing me that we will literally only have one movie that we haven't watched for him. Yeah.
Steal that movie.
Steal it. Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you leave a comment. If you made it this far, tell us what you think about this movie, what you think about Kurosawa's early work, and which is your favorite Kurosawa film. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss a single episode that drops on the channel. And then, of course, if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast app of choice, leave a 5-star review and follow us on your favorite podcast app. Oh, that helps us out so freaking much. And yeah, thank you to our patrons. Without them, none of this is possible. We love you guys. We thank you guys for being the wonderful people that you are. Because of you guys being amazing, you guys get this episode live early and ad free before anybody else gets to watch it. But yeah, Brad, we have to go and do Invincible now. But the public watches this on Saturday, and I'm going to edit it and have it uploaded so that way it can go up on Saturday. Because if I don't do it, it's never gonna get uploaded until like the week I'm back from.
Yeah.
The following week. Yeah. But thank you guys for being here with us, and of course, Brad. Let's go ahead and tell them about our executive producer Shane.
You follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/xsrk or on Twitter at thrifted.il or go buy something from the Suppy God at dpop.com/PrisonCityVintage.
Yeah. And of course, keep up to date with us now. What's it called? This is how it's going to go down, guys. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to edit these videos while I'm back home. Brad might have to help me, man. Brad might just have to help me this week, which is not a terrible process for the editing, Brad.
Yeah.
Literally cut, insert, cut. What's it called? That's it.
I could probably do it, but I have to be sober. So.
Yeah. I got you, Brad. Yeah, just I will literally walk you through the whole process of how to do this thing, but you're just gonna have to do it. I'm gonna get all these thumbnails ready for the next week, so you don't have to worry about that. But we have Invincible season 3 episode 6 to discuss, and then next week we start our Daredevil Born Again reviews. So we'll be starting off with the season premiere, episode 1 and 2, next week, and we have episode 7 of Invincible. But without further ado, Brad, let's go ahead and get them the fuck out of here.
All right, our whole thing of being hosts as always. Thank you to our listeners out there, Patreon supporters. Thank you to all those who join us in future chats. We appreciate each and every one of you. And to end this episode, all I gotta say is no regrets. Young Yoda out.